given to you, and that boat is going in a certain direction. Okay, let us say this is the boat which is going, right, and this boat is having this is a motor boat, right. The question is that a motor boat moving with a constant velocity of 10 meter per second. So this boat is moving with a constant velocity, right, moving into right direction, let us say, right. So it's given that the velocity of the boat is 10 meter per second, right. Now the question is that it encounters water resistance, right. That means boat is going into right direction, so there is a water over here in which it is going, right. So water is providing some resistance from opposite side, because resistance is always applied from opposite side, right. So this is the water resistance direction, right, from right to left, right. This is the water resistance from right to left. This is water resistance. Now my dear friend, the question is that when the water is resisting the flow of the boat, then the amount of resistance, some force is applied from the right direction to the direction of flow of boat, right. Some force is applied, and that force applied by the water is equal to 1000 Newton. Now the question is that what is the power of the motorboat? What is the power of the motorboat or boat? What is that? This is the question to us. Now my dear friends, if you remember quickly, I am just reviewing something, okay, just to recall, right. Just remember 2 steps before solving this question, right. We know that the instantaneous power concept, right. So at any given instant, it is denoted by a P, right, P. So this power which is denoted by P, right, is the rate of change of work done per unit time, isn't it? It was represented by dW, the small change in the work done with respect to the change in time, right. Now this can further be written as P dot dt, that is power multiplied by a small change in the time, is equal to the change in work done, right, dW. Now, or we can write it as dW can be written as, if you remember dW is the work done, change in the work done when the, if you remember this mass and you are just pulling it somewhere like this, right, with some force, right. So this is represented as work done into this case when theta is this angle, then work done is dot product of the force applied and the displacement, right. because if this mass moves from this place, let us say this place to this place, and ds is that displacement, right? Then f dot ds is the work done, right? Now if we put it over here into this formula, then power can be written as, instead of dw, let me write it again. It is work done by time, and work done is represented as f dot ds, where it is the dot product of force and displacement, right, divided by the time, right? This is the time dt. My dear friends, we know what is the value of ds by dt. We know it. What is that? This is nothing but your velocity, displacement by time. So can we write power as the dot product of force and velocity, right? Force and velocity. So this is the derivation which I want to show you, so that you can easily apply it over here, right? So as P is the product of F dot B dot product, right? So what are the two things given to us over here? Velocity is 10, force is 1000 Newton. Force is applied by the water which is resisting to the direction of boat. So we can write it as 1000 Newton multiplied with V. V is 10 meter per second, right, into cos of theta, because this is the dot product of F and V, force and velocity. So it will be 1000 into 10 into cos theta. If the direction of force is of water is into left direction and boat is going into the right direction, what is the angle over here? Isn't it 180 degree, right? Then instead of cos theta, what will be the angle? 1000 into 10 will be 10k. Kilo is 1000, right? It can be written as 10k multiplied by cos theta, and cos theta is cos on 180 degree. Why this 180 degree? Because this 180 degree, because boat direction and resistant water or water direction is 180 degree. Just remember how boat going into right, water coming from left, resisting the flow. So you can see this is making an angle of 180 degree, isn't it? Isn't it? This is a straight line. So cos of 180 degree. So definitely is power. So meter per second multiplied by Newton. This will be watt. Unit will be watt. And cos 180 degree can be written as, this is 10k multiplied by cos 90 degree plus 90 degree, right? What is the value of cos 180 degree, which we can identify? Cos 90 plus theta is sin theta. So we can write it as 10k multiplied by sine 90 degree. Though it is going into the second quadrant, the it will be negative, right? And sine 90 is nothing but 1. So it is coming as minus 10k watt. Why this minus 10k watt? We can consider because this is resisting the flow of the water rays, right? Boat is going into the right and water is coming over here. So if you take the magnitude of the power, right? So this is coming as 10 kilowatt. 10 kilowatt. So the power of the motor boat is calculated as 10 kilowatt, my dear friends. And this is your answer. So when the boat is moving with a velocity of 10 meter per second and water is resisting it from the right direction, from the opposite direction, right, with a force of 1000 Newton, then the power applied by the boat to move with a velocity of 10 meter per second is 10 kilowatt, right? So what are the things which we have used over here? Just in the review, power is the rate of change of work, dw by dt, and dw can be written as force and displacement, the dot product of force and displacement, f dot ds. If you remember this formula, we are pulling with a rope, a mass, and this direction of force is make an angle of theta with the horizon, right? This is the theta. Then f dot ds is the work done. If you put this f dot ds instead of dw, power is f dot ds by dt, and ds by dt is nothing but velocity. The rate of change of displacement with respect to time is velocity. So the dot product of the force and velocity, I have written it. Dot product of force and velocity is the total power, right? We just put up the value of force as 1000 Newton, put up the velocity as 10 meter per second, right here, and the angle, because the boat is going from left to right and water is resisting from right to left, so the angle between them is 180 degree. So that I have written boat direction and water direction is making angle of 180 degree. So the f dot v will become magnitude of force multiplied by magnitude of velocity. Magnitude of force is 1000, magnitude of velocity is 10, and cos theta. Cos theta is nothing but cos of the angle made between the force and velocity, right? If we consider here, this is the direction of velocity, right? It's a vector, right? And force is also same. It's also a vector having a direction, right? So the force is applied from right to left. So velocity of boat and force of water. So you can see what is the angle between them. This angle is nothing but 180 degree, right? This is the angle, boat and water. That's why we have considered cos 180 degree, whose value is coming as minus sine 90, which is minus 1. So 10 into minus 1 becomes minus 10 kilowatt. If you consider the magnitude of the power, this is 10 kilowatt. And this way we have solved this question, my dear friends. The name of the matrix and this displacement is matching. Don't worry. So just like my channel Technomathics. Thank you so much for watching, my dear friends.